Hey guys, I want to talk about the Browns versus Titans game because I have some concerning comments about how that game ended. Now, I know that the way that it ended is probably very well known by now, right? You know exactly how they sabotaged that 2-point attempt and they took him out of the game, whatever. And I'm talking about Shedeur Sanders. But I actually have some very concerning thoughts about that whole situation. So, to give you a recap, if you haven't seen it, basically the Browns there was a minute left in the fourth quarter and they needed 2 points to tie the game. And so for that last play, they took Sanders out of the game and they ran a Wildcat trick play and it went horribly wrong. And they lost the game. So that's basically what happened. And I know that a lot of people are upset at that happening, but I want to share some thoughts. Okay, so number one, let's look at this from the coach's perspective because, I'm going to give them a fair shot, right? If whatever they want to say, let's consider what they have to say. So head coach Kevin Stefanski was asked, hey, what were you thinking when you took Shedeur Sanders out of the game? And he said two things. The first thing was that, Sanders didn't come through the first time that we needed him to. And then later his answer was I take the blame. I'm the head coach. I made the call. I take the blame. To me, that just sounds like next question. Next question, next topic. I'm done answering this. That's kind of what I took away from his side, okay? But we're still going to consider it. Okay, so let's pretend for a second that head coach Kevin Stefanski is correct. Let's pretend, okay? Bear with me because I'm going to give you an example here. So in his mind, it's too risky having Sanders run the last play because he sabotaged another one before. Okay? In their mind, it's risky having Sanders run a play. Okay, so in what universe is it any safer to run whatever they ran instead? Do you catch what I'm trying to say? If you think running Sanders is risky on the field, how is it any safer that they run a Wildcat trick play? These trick plays, I know they can be effective, but so many things have to go right. So many things have to be on point. The timing has to be perfect. The execution, everyone needs to know their place and their role. And it's not even like they messed up a little bit. That looked horrendous. They absolutely didn't deliver. Okay, so in what world is that any safer than having Sanders? All I'm trying to say is if Sanders was facing the wrong way with a blindfold on, they would have had a better chance at scoring or tying the game than whatever the fuck they ran instead. Do you catch what I'm saying? So here's the thing. I am trying to see it from the coach's perspective. I am trying to give them benefit of the doubt. And no matter how much I pretend that they make sense, it quite literally doesn't make sense. Okay, that's just my opinion. Now, I was reading about this online because I want to see what the rest of the world has to say about this. And let's just say that everybody else doesn't have quite as positive of an outlook as I do. And I know my outlook is not positive here, but other people have very grim opinions. No, let me share the other opinions that I've been reading because it's pretty interesting. Okay, so the first thing I read was that the Browns still don't trust Sanders. And I know that it still sounds a little bit, innocent on the surface when you hear something like that. But here's the thing. Okay, consider this. He carried the team that night. The Browns still don't trust Sanders. He could throw for 5 touchdowns. I know he didn't, but I'm just giving analogies here. He could throw for 5 touchdowns, and they're not going to trust him with the final play. He could be the best Cleveland Brown on the field on a given night, and they don't trust him with the final play. He could be the best rookie quarterback drafted in years, as a rookie starting and performing the way that he is, and the Browns will still not trust him. And at that point, you have to consider, if there's any truth to this, then now it's like politics. It's not even about football anymore. It goes a little bit deeper than just surface level performance or whatever. And again, I hate thinking along these lines. I want to assume that they had good intentions, blah blah blah. But this is what the world thinks, and I just wonder if there's any truth to that. I also read that somebody said that they don't want that young man to be victorious. And again, on the surface, it seems a little bit innocent, but let's look a little bit deeper. Because I know that Sanders is not some high draft he's not going to be a first rounder. I get it. But he's also not trash, okay? And I'm not a Browns fan either, but he's not trash. He's not garbage. There are starting quarterbacks right now that are worse than him, okay? And we can be honest about that. But even then, there were teams that did not want to draft him because of his dad. I think it was because his dad is like, loud, outspoken. He has a big personality. He might go on like interviews and podcasts. He might trash the team. I think that teams thought that he would be like another LeVar Ball, like, the Ball brothers. And that, he's just going to give the team a hard time or something. I don't know. But it was something political. It doesn't have to do with the sport itself. But for one reason or another, teams explicitly didn't want Sanders. And so now that he is drafted, now that he is on a team, he's on the Browns, I just wonder, are politics still at play? Are there still some people in that front office or whoever, in the back of their mind, they're thinking, I don't want that motherfucker on this team. I don't want him. He could be second string, fourth string, 10th string. I don't want him on the team. But he is on the team. I can't do anything about it. But what I can do is make sure that he's not victorious tonight. How can I make that happen? You know what? I'm taking him out of the game when it matters because I don't want him to win. I don't want him to be praised. I don't want him to be the hero of this story. I don't need him to be celebrated. And if there's any truth to that, then that's so disappointing. As a sports fan, that's so disappointing. And I know, listen, I know that it sounds far-fetched. I know that it sounds way too dramatic to be true. But, I mean, look around. Look around. The Cleveland Browns, outside of Cleveland, don't have a big fan base. People don't give a shit about that team. You can be honest. But at the same time, we all saw that play. We all saw what happened between the Titans and the Browns. That last 2-point conversion, whatever. And the entire fan base, no matter who you go for, everybody had something to say about it. Everybody was unhappy with how they ran that play. So what I'm trying to say is that we do care about what this team does, whether we want to admit to it or not. We do low-key root for Sanders, whether we want to admit to it or not. Because here's the thing, this is an underdog story. This is like the underdog that comes out on top. This is the guy who we secretly want him to win. We want him to play well. We want him to prove the Browns wrong. And no matter how much you hate that team, I guarantee everyone's like, the Browns are dumb as fuck for whatever they did. You get what I'm saying? So in some way, we do want to celebrate him. We do want the rookie to get a chance, no matter who the rookie is. It could be another rookie on another team. It doesn't matter. As a sports fan, we all collectively like to see rookies win. It's just a thing. And if they're a quarterback, that's even a bigger and a better story. And in this case, I really do wonder if they didn't want him to be a hero for that reason. They don't want you to root for him. They don't want him to be celebrated. Now, again, these are not my opinions. These are just things that I read online, and I'm kind of putting my own spin on it because a part of me is curious. A part of me wants to know. Obviously, growing up and stuff, you want to believe that these sports are run perfectly, purely, completely fair, whatever. But are you telling me that there's a 0% chance that a ref has ever been bribed, or a game has ever been fixed, or anything has ever happened? I'm not saying this month or this year, but the point is, bullshit happens. Bullshit happens, and it just is a part of life. And fixed games happens, and refs are bribed sometimes. That happens. And in this case, maybe rotten front office decisions happen, or personal vendettas happen, or hatred towards your rookie quarterback happens. All I'm saying is don't take anything off the table without giving it full consideration, because that's what I'm trying to do. And I'm not even a Browns fan. I'm neutral on this matter. I will give the coaches, benefit of the doubt. I'll try to consider whatever they have to say. I'll give them good argument. I'll consider everything. But I'll also consider the opposite side too, because I do want to know what exactly happened. So anyways, yeah, that's all I have to say. I'm going to stop talking now, but let me know your thoughts, because this is something interesting.